Renee, I'm just sending you an email. If you still have time, then give me a chance to change my camera, okay? Because I've been having some technical difficulties here. Button back. Okay. Well, thank you for waiting or your patience. All right. I'm going to start off with a three-part breath just to ground ourselves. So I'm going to ask if you would to ground your feet on the mat here, just to do our little safety check to make sure that you won't slide as we do our movement or if we move forward. And then I'm going to ask that we place our hands over our heart. One for gratitude, two to check in, and three just to start our deep breath sequence. Okay? So if you would take a deep breath in with me through the nose, inhaling, and release it through the nose. Please feel free to soften your gaze or close your eyes as we go into the next breath with another deep breath in through the nose and release through the nose. And for the last one, before we add on, just take a nice deep breath in and release it. And if you like to open your eyes, let's bring our hands down to our side. And I'm going to ask that we roll or rock our feet back and forth. And see this camera? See, my other camera is higher, so you can see my feet. But I'm just going to roll my feet back and forth, rounding them and grounding them. So coming up on the toes, and then going back down on the heels. Again, coming up on the toes. And when we come down on the heels, lift the toes so that they're pointing up or toward you, flexing. Again, coming back up on the toes, lifting the heels, tightening the calves, then coming back down on the heels, rounding the foot, coming on the ball and lifting the toes up toward you. Let's do two more, if you would. Up on the toes, down on the heels. And the last one before we add on, up on the toes and down on the heels. All right, coming back to a flat foot, I'm going to ask that you bring your feet in just a little bit so that they're in line with your knees or ankles. And we're going to extend our right foot straight out. And we're going to rotate it either direction. Just rotate it for 3 times. And then stopping there and rotating in the opposite direction. All right, bringing the right foot back down to the mat. And once that foot is grounded, shifting our weight and extending the left leg out. And the same thing, rotating that foot. Excuse me, mine is popping. My ankle. All right, into the opposite direction. All right, stopping there and bringing the left foot back down to our mat, if you would. We're going to come up to our upper body. So if you can, sit up nice and tall, making sure that your bottom is not stuck in the back of the chair. If you're in an open chair, and even if you're in a cushion chair, sometimes our backside and our bum will get stuck there. So if you need to come up just a little bit, I'm going to ask that you bring your arms up in a roundabout way beside your ears, as close as you can, holding them there and releasing. Again, bringing the arms up beside your ears. Feeling that stretch and releasing. One more time before we add on, bringing the arms up beside your ears. Holding it there, stretching, pulling towards the ceiling, and releasing. This time we're going to bring the arms up beside the ears, but we're going to add a twist. So we're going to twist to the right, bring the arms up to the ears and just twisting our upper body to the right, holding it there. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you release that breath, coming back to center and releasing the arms. All right, same thing on the opposite side if you would. Bringing the arms up beside the ears. Twisting to the opposite side. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. And releasing as you come back to the center. Bringing the arms back there. All right. Now I'm going to ask that we bring our arms straight up this time, arching the back, bringing the head to the rear and lifting the chin up towards the center. As we stretch, take a nice deep breath in. And as we exhale, bring our arms down and bring our chin back down to its neutral position. Again, if you would, a nice deep breath in as we raise the arms towards the ceiling, tilting the head back, bringing the chin up towards the ceiling also. And as we exhale, bringing the arms down and bringing our chin back to center. All right, we're going to do one more before we add on. Bringing the arms up, nice deep inhalation. Tilting the head back, bringing the chin up towards the ceiling, holding it there. And as you release, bringing the arms down and bringing the chin back down to neutral. Moving back to our legs, we're going to bring our right knee in towards our chest. I'm going to clasp our hands together, bringing our knee in towards our hands, and then using our hands to bring our knee as close as we can to our chest. As we bring our knee as close as we can to our chest, we're going to rotate the feet again, just small circles there, and in the opposite direction. And releasing the knee back down to the mat, releasing the hands, and preparing to go to the opposite knee now. So if you started on the left, go to the right. Same thing as you interlock your fingers, bringing your knee up as close as you can towards your chest, feeling that stretch, holding it there, rotating the ankles or feet in one direction, stopping there and going in the opposite direction. All right, releasing that knee, bringing it back down or gently guiding it back down to your mat. We're going to add on this time as we go back to the right with the same basic movement, interlocking the fingers, bringing the knee up towards your chest. This time we're going to drop our chin towards our chest also, causing our back or our shoulder blades to expand there or to widen. Holding it there, take a nice deep breath in. And as you release the knee back to the mat with your foot and bringing your chin up, straightening your back up. We're going to move to the opposite leg now. So going to the left leg, interlocking your fingers, bringing the knee up as close as you can, dropping your chin towards your chest, arching your back or rounding your back, opening the shoulder blades, holding it there, inhaling, and exhale. As you exhale, releasing the knee back to the mat. Let's do that one more time with the right. Interlocking the fingers, bringing it up, rounding the back, bringing the chin into the chest, expanding or opening the shoulder blades, holding it there, inhaling. And as you exhale, release the foot and the knee back to the mat, bringing your chin up and straightening your back. And we'll go to the opposite side. Clasping the opposite leg. Again, bringing the knee into the chest and the chin down to the chest, rounding the back, opening the shoulder blades, holding it there. Nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, releasing the knee and the foot back to the mat, bringing your chin up back to neutral and sitting back up nice and tall in your seat. We're going to twist again. And this time I'm going to ask if you have a high back chair, rounding your arm to the back of the chair. If you have a low back like I do, then I'm going to ask you to scoot up and I'm just going to place my hand in the center of my back like so. Crossing with the opposite hand to the outside of the knee and then turning our chin in the direction of the shoulder. Holding it there. Take a nice deep breath in, sitting up nice and tall. And release. Another nice deep breath in. And release. As you release, bring your upper body and your chin back to center, releasing that arm from the center of your back. And we're going to move to the opposite side. So now placing the opposite hand in the center of your back, crossing the opposite hand over to the outside of the knee, turning in the direction of your arms, bringing the chin as close as you can or over the shoulder, sitting nice up, nice and tall. Take a nice deep breath in. And release. And another nice deep breath in. And release. Bringing your chin back to neutral or back to center, releasing your arms and coming back to the front. All right. With those twists, we're now going to do some arches, which just watch me. I'll ask that you bring your hands right behind your ears, so do not interlock them behind your head, but sitting up nice and tall. And we're going to lean or arch towards the right side. So, and not leaning like so, but arching over, bringing the elbow down as close as you can to your waist, bringing the elbow in, and the opposite elbow is up towards the ceiling. Feeling that stretch in the obliques, but slight crunch on the opposite side. As we come back up to an upright position, we're now going to arch to the opposite direction. So as we arch over to the left, bringing the elbow in towards your waist and the right elbow up towards the ceiling, feeling that opening now in the shoulder, the chest, and the obliques. Holding it there, coming back up to an upright position. We're going to do that one more time on each side. So as we lean back towards the first side, stretching and holding it there. All right, coming back up to an upright position. And now to the opposite side. And holding it there. Coming up to an upright position. All right, if you would release the arms, are you finding it easier just to raise the arms? You can do that too, but I find when I raise the arms, I don't get that opening right in here as I do when they're this way, for the shoulders and for that area that we call the wings. So I find that I don't get such a stretch in the obliques when I just take the arms straight up. Okay, now I'm going to ask that we come up in our chair just a little bit, placing our hands behind us. Placing our hands behind our bum in the seat or down to the side. You need to hold on because, and I'll demonstrate, we're going to lift from our core, all right, and bring our legs out to the edges of our seat. And then we're going to lift again and bring our legs back in together to the center. So please make sure we didn't do our safety check, but to make sure that all four legs of your chair are flat. And as you lift, you're putting enough weight back on the seat to keep the seat stable so that it does not tilt forward or fold if you're in a folding chair like I'm in. Okay? All right. So find a comfortable position for your hands to support you. And as you lean back on your hands and your arms, prepare to tighten your core, tighten your glutes. And we're going to lift our legs up by the knees, bringing them to our chest, expanding them to the corners of your chair, placing your feet on the mat, lifting the legs back up, bringing the knees and the feet back together to the center, and bringing them back to the mat. Again, with an inhalation, inhaling, exhale, inhaling again, and exhale. Let's do two more. Inhaling, exhale, inhale, and release. Last one. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and release. All right, we're going to extend those legs out now, holding them out, up from the floor, holding yourself with your arms as you were. Bring the heels down to the mat. And now let's reach from the upper body down towards our toes. As you come down to your toes, your ankles, and if you need a block, you can use the block there as well to have your hands up, or just reach for the back of your calves. So between the calves, the ankles, or the toes, coming down, bringing your chest as close as you can to your lap. Let's round our back as we come up, rolling our shoulders to the rear and pushing down. All right, we're going to do that once more, bringing our arms up, inhaling, reaching down towards our calves, ankles, or toes, dropping our head, bringing our chest as close as we can to our lap, rounding our back as we come up, rolling our shoulders to the rear. Two more, bringing our arms up, reaching down towards our calves, ankles, or toes. As we inhale, rounding our back, coming up, rolling the shoulders to the rear, and pushing down. For the last one, bringing the arms up. Inhale, dropping the arms, exhaling, reaching for the calves, the ankles, or the toes. Rounding our back as we inhale. Rolling our shoulders to the rear as we exhale. And releasing. Okay. Bending at the knees, bringing our feet back to the mat or flat on the mat. Coming back in our seats. We're going to ask that we cross the right leg over the left, but cross it at the ankle. So placing the ankle above the knee. holding it here. And if you can, to make sure that there's not too much, that the knee is, the ankle is not directly on the knee, but just over, rotate that foot a couple of times to make sure you have full range of motion, of that foot. All right. Now we're going to sit up straight and we're just going to lean in towards our lap, opening the hip flexors, just leaning until no pain. We don't want it to hurt, just to stretch. So lean as much as you can into your lap, holding it there, rounding our back and coming up. As we round our back and come up, we're now going to push out with our chest, bringing our chin towards the ceiling. In yogi terms, a version of a cat-cow, dropping our chin to our chest, rounding our back, coming back up. We're going to do 2 more, bringing the chin up towards the ceiling, arching our back with our chest expanded, dropping our chin to our chest, rounding the back as we come up. 1 more, arching the back, bringing the chin up to the ceiling, dropping our chest towards our legs. Bringing the chin down to our chest and rounding our back as we come up. Roll the shoulders to the rear. Release the legs. As you release the legs, extend that leg that was crossed. Extend that leg straight out, flexing the toes toward you. And now bringing that foot back down to the mat, bending at the knee. Let's shift our weight and prepare to do that same thing on the opposite side. Okay. So bringing the left leg up now, or the opposite leg. Again, not directly over that knee, so making sure you have range of motion. Just twist or rotate that foot. All right. Okay, for the same thing, we're now going to lean forward towards our lap. Holding it there, taking a few breaths. And come up, rounding our back. Okay, now to move into our motion as we lift our chin up, extending our chest or opening our chest, dropping down to our lap, and bringing our chin into our chest, rounding our back and coming up. As the chin goes up, we're arching our back, coming down, expanding our chest and bringing our chest towards our lap. The chin goes down into our chest, rounding our back and bringing our upper body up into a seated position. 1 more. Expanding the chin up towards the ceiling, opening the chest, lowering our chest down towards our lap. Bringing the chin down to the chest, rounding the back, and coming up to an upright seated position. As we uncross our legs, extending that leg out now, flexing the toes toward you. And dropping the feet, dropping that foot to the mat. Now, because of the time, I will ask you if you'd like to go into a guided rest for our last 10 minutes together on the schedule. And I know you're muted, so you can give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if you'd like to move into a guided rest, or we can keep moving for our chair yoga. But at this time, I would go into a guided rest normally.
I would say more movement, but I'm totally open to doing whatever Esther would like.
Yep, I'm fine with more movement. Okay.
I like doing all that.
Because the class is normally over at 7. I don't know because I started late if I have the bandwidth or to keep going. But that's why I asked if you wanted to go into a guided rest where we can keep moving. All right, so we'll keep moving. Okay. Okay. So if you would come back up to the tip of your seat, placing your hands behind you. And this time, instead of extending the legs open and closed as we did, we're just going to bring the knees up and bring them back down. Okay. All right. So as we inhale, lean back, bring the knees up, and bring them down. As we inhale, bring the knees up, and as we exhale, bring them down. Again, as we inhale, bring the knees up, exhale, bring them down. Again, as you inhale, bring the knees up, exhale, bring them down. Last one, as we inhale, bring them up, exhale, bring them down. Bring them all the way down to the mat this time. Releasing on the mat, sitting back. And now to move in the opposite direction, a swan dive or seated swan dive. We're just going to bring our arms up as we inhale and bring our chest down to our lap, allowing our hands to come all the way down to our toes or to the mat. Releasing your head, hanging, rounding your back as you come up. Rounding your back with your chin to your chest, coming up. Opening up our chest, bringing our arms up again. Inhaling, and as you release, coming down to your lap. Bringing the hands to the floor, to your toes, to your ankles, dropping your head. And as you come up, rounding your back, coming back up into that seated position. Opening the arms again, expanding the chest. Dropping the upper body and the hands down to the mat, down to your lap. Rounding the back as you come up. As you exhale and release that air, let's do one more, expanding the arms. Coming down to our lap, bringing the hands down to our toes or to the mat. Dropping your head and rounding our back as we come up. Okay, this time we want to come to the corners of our chair again, this time giving our chest a little more space to move down as we place our hands on the mat this time. So we're going to start with the same movement as we did earlier with the swan dive, but this time instead of just coming to our toes and coming back up, we're going to place our palms on the mat. Okay? And I'm getting a low battery. My goodness, I was not prepared to use this computer tonight. Okay, all right, bringing the arms up. And as we lower our body, bringing our chest down to the center instead of just on our lap, allowing space for our chest to come down. And if we were standing, I would say a ragdoll pose, bringing the palms down, dropping your head, and just hanging here for a moment, just staying here. Relaxing, take a nice deep breath in and releasing that breath. This time we're going to come up with a flat back. So bringing the arms to a T and coming up with a flat back as we come back up into our seated position. All right, as we inhale, prepare for another swan dive. Coming down to the mat, dropping, leaving that space for our chest to come in between our mat this time. Leaving the hands there on the mat, lowering the head, just relaxing the shoulders, allowing the head to drop. Leaving the hands either on the mat or hanging towards the mat. As we prepare to come up, take a nice deep breath in, bring your arms out to a T, and come up with a flat back. 2 more times, raising the arms as we prepare to come down into our swan dive. Bring the chest down into that space we just made for it. Allowing the hands to just hang or place them on the mat. Relaxing from the shoulders. Bringing your shoulders away, pulling them away from your ears. Stand here for a few breaths. Bringing the arms to a T, preparing to inhale and coming up with a flat back. For the last one, bringing the arms up and coming back down into the space that we've just made for our upper body, for our chest. Bringing the hands down to the mat. Relaxing, releasing. Just letting your body hang. Taking a few breaths. As we inhale, bring the arms to a T and come up with a flat back. Bringing the arms up, clasping the fingers together, up above your head, bringing the chin up, arching the back, stretching the back, feeling the lower part of our back through the upper part. As we release, bring the hands down to center, just to center, midway. We're going to do figure eights. So we're going to move our arms down with a breath and back up with a breath and down with a breath and back up with a breath. Continue with the figure eight. Continue to breathe. As we do 2 more full figure eights. And we'll stop with our hands in the center this time. As we stop here, release the fingers, expanding the arms out to a T. Inhaling and expanding our chest. Bending at the elbows, bringing our hands up to a field goal position. Bringing the arms all the way up to the fingers touch above our head. As we come back down to that field goal position, adding a little self-resistance there for the triceps and the biceps. Extending the arms back out to the T. And now as we bring the hands together, let's see a beach ball there as we push the air out of that beach ball. Bringing the hands together and coming up to a prayer position. Walking our feet back in together. And I will say thank you so much for your patience with me tonight. All right, I'm going to stop this recording. And again, I'm going to have to hear back from them to see if this is going to be something if it's a change in our software,